Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and another card making video. This video is for the Spellbinders Club Hop for the month of March. I am featuring the large die of the month for March. It is the Spring Together with Lever die set. I am making an interactive card on a slimline shaker. Now you don't need a slimline die to create a frame for a slimline card. I have an 8.5 by 3.5 inch piece of cardstock here, and I'm using my blade trimmer to cut a frame. So I just want to put my paper in at the 1/2 inch mark on the right hand side of the cutter, drop my blade in at 1/4 of an inch. Sorry, I think I said 1/2 inch, but I am making a 1/4 inch frame. Then I'm going to stop when there's 1/4 of an inch of paper left at the bottom. And I'm going to repeat this on all 4 sides. So dropping the blade in at 1/4 of an inch and stop cutting at 1/4 of an inch with 1/4 of an inch of the paper on the right hand side of the cut line. Now my trimmer has scored lines in the plastic so that you can easily tell where 1/4 of an inch is. So you just need to figure out where this is on your trimmer. I did have a spot where my blade did not meet with the previous cut line, so I just used my scissors to trim those pieces out. And there I have my 1/4 of an inch frame to create a shaker card. I have my window sheet laying on top of that frame just so I can easily tell where it is. And I am going to stamp Easter greetings using the March stamp set of the month, the clear stamp set of the month, and emboss that because my plastic here happens to be heat resistant. So I'm going to emboss that with white powder, and you want to make sure that your gun is very hot. So right when you take it to the plastic, it melts right away. And that's the trick for doing embossing on heat resistant window sheets. Now I am lining my frame with 1/8 of an inch score tape and liquid glue, so I have a little time to move my window sheet around when I stick it down. Now I really want to make sure that this adheres, and it seems to take a little longer with the embossable window sheets, so I'm going to set some heavy blocks on that and create some grassy borders. Now this large die of the month does come with this grassy border. It's not slimline, but I can just move it over and die cut this 2 times to create a slimline grassy border. I did one from a 1 1/4 inch strip of paper and one from a 1 1/2 inch. Now this one got a little crooked, so I'm going to fix it by cutting it again, and that made it a little bit shorter, which is actually perfect. And then I will make it even shorter coming up. But here I have die cut all the pieces from the large die of the month to create 3 bunnies, and I'm using this little piece for the nose and the inside of the ears. My 3 bunnies are going to be tan, gray, and white, and here I'm going to put the tan one together so you can see how that goes. The inside of the ears is just for the bottom half of the ear. There's a scored line in that die cut earpiece, so it kind of looks like the ear is folded over. It's very cute. Then you're going to glue the ears to the back of the head so it looks like he has a little tuft of hair sticking up. It's so cute. Then glue the head on. There is a scored line so you know right where to glue the head. And then the nose is this tiny little oval, and it goes right there. And then for the arms, there's a rounded end, an end that's more round than the other. That's where you put the glue to glue the arms onto the back of the body. Next, I have the eggshells that I die cut. The larger end I'm going to splatter with whipped cream silk, and I'm also going to add that splatter to this plaid paper that will be the background of my card, just for some extra sparkle and shimmer on there. And then when your shaker card doesn't have the shaker bits floating around, you still have like some elements of interest on the background. Now I'm going to take the die that cuts the slits in the paper. I want 3 slits for my card, and then I've die cut all my interactive pieces. This is the lever. Spellbinders recommends that you die cut 2 and glue them back to back to make them stronger. Since I have 3 slits in my card, I'm going to need 3 levers. So I have die cut those levers, and I'm attaching them to the arm. I'm attaching it to the lever. These are the arms, 3 arms that I'm attaching to the lever with mini brads. And then I'm going to put these arms into the slots. Right here is where I should have marked where I wanted the rounded piece to cut the notch. So I have a notch where I can pull the tabs out, and then I would remove the lever and die cut that opening and put it back in and glue these stabilizing pieces on. But I got too excited to put my card together and I forgot to die cut that little notch. You see that little half circle die over there on the right? That's the one I forgot to do. So I'll show you how I figured that out in just a second. But these are the stabilizing pieces. Now I used 3 here, and that just helps so that your lever goes back and forth. It doesn't wiggle up and down. Mine was really close to the bottom of my grassy piece, so I just folded over my extra pieces and glued them down, but you could also cut them off. So here, when I am moving my lever, I'm getting a little bend. You see the little bend? So I decided to add a 4th stabilizing piece, and that's going to help it move without bending like that. So that's why those stabilizing pieces are really nice to have. So there we have our 3 arms, and that's where I'm going to attach my bunnies. But now I realized I forgot to die cut out that little notch, so I'm going to mark it with a pencil, scoot my lever all the way back, and just cut that out. But usually I would lay the lever where I want it to go, mark it, or lay my die on there and die cut it out, then put my arms and levers together in the slots. So I poked a hole in the end of this lever, and I am adding a little bow with some twine, so there's something a little bit more substantial to grab onto. I'm going to set that aside and put my shaker window together. So I'm adding some foam tape strips around the outer edge so that they touch on all the corners so none of my shaker elements can escape. I added some anti-static powder around the edge of that foam tape just in case there is any residual adhesive on the sides of the tape. Then I'm going to add in these clay elements that are little Easter eggs. They're adorable. And I'm also adding some white seed beads, and I'll have all the things I used listed and linked for you below. The seed beads are from my friend's Etsy shop. I get a lot of my shaker elements from her, and the eggs are from Trinity Stamps. So now I am adding that background with the sparkle splattered on it. So cool. And pressing that into place, making sure that it comes in contact with the foam tape. Now you can hear the shaker. So fun. I'm loving this shaker. Now, any of my paper that shows from the front, I'm just going to trim off with my scissors. It is time to put this lever arm piece onto my card on top of a shaker. I'm very excited about that. I used foam squares and made sure they did not interfere with the moving of the mechanism. And I'm going to double check that here, and it looks really good. Yay! And now we can start assembling the fun part of this card. So I wanted the second layer of the grass to be popped up, but it would be like too much if I added more foam adhesive. So I just put 2 layers of scrap cardstock on there instead, and that's going to give it a tiny bit of lift, and it was just perfect. I also did trim down this grass so it was a little bit shorter, and I cut it down on the side so it did not interfere with the lever mechanism being pulled out of the card. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I trimmed down my arms that my bunnies are going to stick to so they didn't show beyond their ears, and then I also cut off their little feet because in the previous video that I made, I actually glued the little chicks down too close to the opening where the arms come out of the card, and it kind of inhibited it from moving back and forth too much. So here I just thought I'll trim off the feet, and it worked really good. Also trimming off the arms to make them short enough on each of them, and then I'll glue the little egg down as well. So there I have all 3 of my bunnies. Also, I glued a scrap of black on the back of their faces so that they had black eyes, which I forgot to do when I was assembling the bunnies, but I did it before I stuck them down here. So now I'll go ahead and glue down that second grass piece, and that's going to hide all the parts that I don't want to be seen. And there they are. They're so cute, moving back and forth. Now to embellish this card, I am going to use some of the flowers from this die cut set. I cannot believe how many amazing dies are in this month's large die of the month. There's so many. This is also going to help kind of disguise where my grass just abruptly stops there. So I added 2 flowers to each end, and I love that accent and the added pink to this card. Now, this is part of the monthly blog hop that Spellbinders does to highlight their kits to give you inspiration for using your kit. So you want to make sure and head over to my blog, which is carrystamps.com. Check out my post for this hop and then hop along with us, leaving love and comments as you go. Make sure to visit the Spellbinders blog as well, because they are giving away 3 $50 shopping sprees to their shop. So that's an amazing deal, and I would love for you to be able to win that. So that will be on my blog, like I said, carrystamps.com. If you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I have new videos all the time, and if you ring the bell, then YouTube will let you know when I have a new video. So watch here for the end picture. You'll see I added some white gel pen highlights, and I think it really helped elevate the card. I hope you think so too. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. I love to hear from you. I will see you all again very soon in the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!